So again, I want to welcome you to the Financial Planning Postgrad presentation. We're thrilled that you're interested in George Brown, and I want to give you a little bit about the college. We are the only GTA college that is located in the heart of downtown Toronto, right in the downtown core. We have three main campuses that supports the majority of our over 30,000 students here at George Brown. We have a new residence that was opened in 2016, and we are continuing to build new spaces in the downtown area to support our students and our program growth. We're here today discussing a program that is at our St. James campus. It is the largest one of our campuses that we have, with around 14,000 to 16,000 students here. It's very central, very close to the Center for Business for Toronto, our Toronto Business Hub. It's only about a 10-minute walk from our King Station, which is one of our main subway stations here. It's close to our St. Lawrence Market, Eaton Centre, and a very short walk or transit ride to many of the sporting arenas that we have downtown. So very centrally located and an exciting place to be. Of course, with great academics, we also have great supports for student and a really exciting student life community here, from new student orientations to student-friendly spaces, our campus bookstores, athletics, lots of stuff to support you in and outside of the classroom while you're at George Brown College. So with that, I am going to pass the reins over to Carolyn, and she's going to start us off with a presentation on the financial planning program.
Thank you, Adam, and welcome to all to our webinar on the Postgraduate Certificate in Financial Planning. Here at George Brown, we affectionately call it B407, so you may hear me refer to it as that. That would refer to the whole program as a whole. So first, I'm going to walk you through some of the main items that we're going to talk about together today. We are going to do an overview of the program. And of course, go through the admission requirements. So what it takes for you to come and join us and take B407. Talk about some of the characteristics of some of the students that we have seen pass through our program with most success, and talk specifically about some of the academic courses you will complete. I will then be passing it on to my colleague, Tracy, who will take you through the program outcomes for graduates, all what you can achieve, and how that sets you up for your career after graduation. So with that, we're going to start with the program itself. Our B407 is a graduate certificate program that really specializes in the discussion of personal financial planning. Upon completion of the program, you will have all the knowledge, skills, and abilities that you will need to help clients and, of course, yourself or any family members achieve their life goals through the integrated approach of managing your financial affairs. So although money can't buy you happiness, it certainly is successful financial management will help get you and your clients there. Some of the key areas that we refer to in our financial planning world is that you will learn about is financial management, and that would be the practice of achieving your short to medium term goals. So how is it that a family can save to buy a car, buy a house, save for their children's education, and of course, while living a happy and comfortable life. Money is a scarce resource for many of us, so financial management, especially for many, is a key place to start. Investment management, which is usually paralleled and most commonly known when you say financial planning, a lot of people think about investments. That's how we grow our wealth, is by through investment planning. But as you'll see here, it's just one of our financial planning activities. Retirement planning, this is key as we see the baby boomers heading into retirement. How do we ensure that they have enough resources to meet their retirement needs? Most interestingly, that's a very hot topic now because people are living longer. Most statistics tell us that people will live well into their 90s, especially in your generation. Many of you or your friends will see the age of 100. So retirement planning is taking on much added significance because you either have to be working longer or saving for a longer retirement. Income tax planning. Most people groan when they hear about income tax. For me, it's an opportunity. How can you save money and keep it in your clients' pockets instead of that of the tax man? Insurance and risk management. This is where we will investigate topics, and it's the practice of ensuring that your client is safe from unforeseen events. Death or disability would be the two main ones. And estate planning is an activity where we ensure that we pass our assets on to our intended beneficiaries in an efficient way. Upon completion of the program, you will also prepare, well, first you'll complete many mini cases where we will talk about real-life client situations and practice prioritizing financial goals for our clients. And in our final course, Advanced Financial Planning, you will complete a comprehensive financial plan for a client where you will do all of the activities that I just walked you through. Now that you're all excited about it, I will take you through the admission requirements. Like most postgraduate certificates in our college, the B407 program spans 2 semesters. So it's 8 months, 2 academic semesters. And upon graduation, you will be employed ready for placement in the field of financial services. In order to join us here and get admitted to our program, you will need to have an advanced diploma from a college or a bachelor's degree. Please note that there is no requirement that your diploma or degree is in the field of business or anything related thereto. Some of our best graduates have come from the fields of science, English, and or environmental studies. So again, you must have a diploma or a degree, but you do not need to have a background in business. All of the courses in B407 are discipline specific. That means they're all required. There are no electives. This adds intensity and relevance to the program, but again, make sure that you are busy throughout. There's no freebies or bird courses in this program. And we have intakes in September and January annually. So who is the ideal student for our B407 program? When we talk about financial services or financial planning, the first thing most people think about is math. Yes, you do have to have a tendency towards mathematical scenarios. You have to be able to do mathematical analysis. However, there is no requirement for high-level calculus or algebra. So although strong analytical skills will serve you well as excellent listening skills will serve you well in the industry. It's about using your financial analytical skills to help people meet their goals. So you would be motivated to help others. A lot of times, and including myself, I made the shift from a pure accounting role into the field of financial planning because I really had the motivation to be helping others. And using my knowledge, skills, and abilities to help others meet their goals. Fundamentally, that is a strong underlying theme in this program. You should have the ability to establish relationships and trust, as this will be required to be successful in the industry ultimately. And as with any profession, you must be willing to maintain a high ethical standard. So what will you be studying when you're here with today? As I mentioned before, 2 semesters. and with no prerequisite knowledge required. Our Math 4001 is Math for Finance. This will be a mathematics course that helps you do projections that you will need in your financial planning toolkit as you go through our program. Canadian Investments 1 and Canadian Investments 2. They will give you all the foundation information that you need for the world of investments. This is international information, so perhaps if you're an international student and you've taken some investment courses, this will be one area that could be of most familiarity to you. We start the financial planning process in FIN 4002, which is personal financial planning. This is where you're going to learn all the basics, how to assess the client's situation today, and identify opportunities and constraints that they might face. You'll learn how to do a net worth statement for a family, do cash flow projections, understand where they're spending their money, and help them understand that as well. Many of the fundamentals are covered in this course, and that will be your starting point for all of those who don't have any prerequisite knowledge. Retirement planning, this is a course that would be very specific to Canada. You're going to talk about Canada Pension Plan, old age security programs that are offered by our government in retirement. You're going to learn how Canadians save for the retirement in their RRSP, Registered Retirement Savings Fund. And if they're lucky enough, they may have a pension plan sponsored by their employer. We will talk about saving in all of these retirement tools and do projections to ascertain how much your clients will have at their disposal on retirement date. Business and family law, this is where we explore both business, family relationships, understanding the risks and opportunities there. So peculiarities that have financial impact of divorce, for example, and how to ensure your clients are well informed. Income tax fundamentals and income tax planning. These are the two courses that will save you money each and every week in order to ensure your clients are tax efficient. Again, those two courses are very Canadian specific content, focusing on Canadian tax rules. You'll have an insurance course where you're going to learn about different types of insurance that help protect your client in the case of death, disability, or unforeseen loss, and that could be even with property. Estate planning will teach us how to ensure we're protected. Do your clients have an appropriate will? Do they have a power of attorney? Who will make decisions for them in the event that they can't do it themselves? And how they accurately outlined how their assets will pass to the next generation. I already spoke a little bit about advanced financial planning. That's where we bring it all together. That's where we do a high-level review of what we've learned to date and put it to work to help resolve client problems. My favorite course, personally, as the light bulbs turn on in that course, and all the puzzle pieces tend to go together. The only course I haven't addressed yet is career planning. You'll notice it falls in first semester, and it is not quite as long. It's only an hour, sometimes 2 hours per week, depending on what is happening each particular week. And it is really a course that will get you ready for employment in our Canadian financial services market. So it will have you will create a resume, you will create a LinkedIn profile, you will practice interview skills and outreach skills and in that course, and it will be sufficient to get you well positioned to look for full-time employment. That brings me to my point where you may be asking yourself, well, Carolyn, how come there is no co-op or internship associated with this 8-month program? To be quite honest, this is a conscious decision by Tracy, myself, and all the faculty here at George Brown when we were creating this program. In financial services in Canada, in order to have many roles, you have to be licensed. So for example, even if you were an assistant to somebody who sells securities or sells life insurance, you would likely have to be licensed also. And many of the licenses you would not get until after you graduate. So although an internship would be nice, and perhaps some of our programs put it in between semester 1 and semester 2, it's not really practical in the financial services industry. Instead, we like to get you out in months, and by the time you graduate, you are ready for full-time employment. And we have a cohort graduating right now, and I can tell you many of them have found full-time employment already. So now I'll pass it on to Tracy, and she will take you through the remaining of the agenda.
Thank you, Carolyn. So as Carolyn had mentioned, when our students graduate, there are certain credentials or certifications that are required to work in the industry. So I'm going to speak briefly to each of those requirements and what they entail and what opportunities or doors they're going to open up for you within the field. So the overall program, the B407 program, will teach all of the curriculum required in order for you to be able to write the Certified Financial Planning Designation exam through FP Canada. And Josh will put the FP Canada website up through the chat board so you can take a look and see. There has been some changes recently with regards to their pathways to the credential, but it's pretty exciting. So students graduating from this program will be able to become a certified financial planner. What does that mean? It means that they will be able to help clients holistically deal with their financial planning needs. All of these credentials, we're teaching the curriculum towards these credentials, but does that mean when you graduate you actually have these credentials? It does not. What it means is we're preparing you to go out and write the industry exams, and it is up to you to decide if you like the field and want to work in the field and become accredited. Then you can contact the associated licensing body, and you can arrange time to write the examinations through them. So FP Canada is responsible for both the Certified Financial Planning Designation and the new Qualified Associate Financial Planner Designation. And many students might say, well, what's the difference? And the difference is a Qualified Associate Financial Planner will be dealing with clients with less complex needs, whereas a Certified Financial Planner designation will be dealing with clients with more complex needs. And the exciting part is that this program could lead you to either or both if you choose. If you want to be able to sell securities as a part of your financial planning practice, you will need to write the Canadian Securities course exams. There's 2 exams to that credential, and those exams can be written through the Canadian Securities Institute. In order to be able to speak to or even be able to sell securities in Canada, you must have licenses to do so, and the Canadian Securities course is the first step towards achieving those licenses. Another area of interest for students is certainly the life insurance industry, as Carolyn had spoke to about the risk management course. And so you may be interested in the life license qualification program, and that risk management course will teach the curriculum towards that credential as well. And you can find more information with regards to those to becoming accredited to sell insurance through the provincial licensing exam information. So many students will ask us, well, how does George Brown get us ready to go out into the workforce? And I've listed some examples of what types of activities we have here at George Brown to help students be successful when they graduate in finding career opportunities, because that's the goal, right? To help students graduate and to become successful with industry. So the first point that I have there is the career fairs. We will have industry representatives from human resources departments come and speak to students and explain what they're looking for, the different opportunities that exist within their firm, and it'll be an opportunity for students to meet them and to provide them with their resume and hopefully to connect in the future with regards to employment opportunities. The next event that we have is Speed Mentoring. It's a fairly new event where we've invited graduates who are working in the industry to come back and speak to their experience. How did they transition from becoming a student here at George Brown to the roles that they're in today and what path they took? So we've heard great feedback with regards to that Speed Mentoring event. As well, we have a colleague who puts on a series of in-class industry presentations where he's invited people from industry, whether they be hiring or perhaps just to provide information to students about the different roles that exist within the industry. Because most of the time students find it daunting to understand all the different roles that exist within the financial services landscape. And finally, we have once a year, we are participants in the Canadian Institute of Financial Planning case competition that was held within the last month, and we were this year happy to say we were the 2019 CIFP case competition winners for the Eastern Challenge, and we'll be participating in the national championship in Vancouver in about a month's time. So once you graduate from George Brown, what employment opportunities exist? And so what I've got listed here is a bunch of different employment opportunities where we've seen students graduate and find employment. So for instance, customer service representative. These would be frontline individuals working in a bank or a credit union, dealing with day-to-day transactions for customers. You might if you want to take a step further in, you may become a personal banker or financial services associate where you're not just dealing with the deposits and debits of a client, but where you would be helping them to obtain a mortgage or help them with their investments. So where you're moving further into the area of financial planning. You may be very specific towards investments and have an appreciation for investments and want to focus more of your role as an investment advisor. You may become a financial planner or an associate financial planner where you're assisting the financial planner. Some students have had great success in the insurance industry and seeking out roles there as well. There's so many opportunities that exist. One area that's been growing is the area of compliance and how all the rules and regulations that exist within the financial services industry and roles where students are helping to ensure that other people within the firm are maintaining those rules and regulations. So oftentimes students come into this program with varying backgrounds, different degrees and diplomas, from all sorts of backgrounds, as Carolyn had mentioned. And what we found is that the students have been able to sort of couple together their previous experience, whether it be geography or technology, and find employment where looking in the financial services landscape, but maybe with the complement of the technology. So maybe it's in the area of technology within a bank, or it's in the marketing department within a bank, but the knowledge that this program gives them a leg up to be able to get into the financial services industry and have an understanding of what the institution does. I want to thank you for taking the time today to attend this webinar, and we'll open the floor up to questions. Carolyn and I would be happy to assist with any questions that you may have.
Okay, so we're going to take a few questions, and thank you, Carolyn and Tracy, presentation. Let's look at a few here, and thank you very much, everyone, for putting those in. So we'll go with the first question. Can we get a job just after our course without any license?
So I think the question would be, the answer is yes. But you might be limited in terms of the types of jobs you could do. Certainly, you could work in many areas within a financial institution, but if you're looking to sell securities or give advice to clients, then licenses would be required. So it's yes and no, depending on what type of job you are specifically looking for.
The next question we'll take is, what is the average salary, if you know, that we can expect after the course completion? So maybe a range of salaries for something that jobs that students may get coming out of this.
So that's an interesting question. It'll depend on the type of role that you actually obtain. I would say that entry level positions at this stage, you know, it's been quite some time since I've looked, but I'm going to say entry level roles, you're probably looking between 30,000 to 40,000, and some of the roles could be a combination of salary, could be some bonuses, could be commission based. So it's really hard to get a fair and accurate assessment. I don't think the college has ever surveyed graduating students. They ask about employment, but not necessarily about what type of money that they're making. So I wouldn't want to lead you astray in terms of what the actual numbers would be.
If I could just add one more thing, it also depends upon, as Tracy mentioned, the path that you take and perhaps the credentials that you seek upon graduation. So for example, if you were interested, you probably could go to the FP Canada website, and they would likely, I'm not sure for QAFP, or right now the QAFP certificates are called level 1 candidates or certificates, but they often have salary ranges for those, for their level 1 certificates and their CFP professionals, and they will give you ranges on the FP Canada website. So I think that would probably be a good place to start. The other great place that I always tell students to look is, if you're interested in some a particular role, is to go on to a job search online. And even put in the CFP credential, or do a search with Canadian Securities 1 and 2, and you may see job posts that will give you an idea of the sort of starting salary ranges. But given the various payment schemes in the industry, it's very hard to say with certainty.
So we have a question here, and I'm not sure if we can answer this fully, but what would be the approximate percentage of graduate students whose position is customer service, representative customer service, I guess, in financial planning after they finish this program? I don't know if you would have an idea of the percentage, but is that often a job that people from the program would go into?
Absolutely. Many of the roles, whether they're called personal banker, whether you're a teller, whether you're a customer service representative, all would have some aspect of customer service related to it. So I'm not sure what the individual means by customer service jobs. As a financial planner, you're going to deal with people, you're going to help them achieve their goals and objectives. So there is a level of customer service involved in any type of role where you're dealing with the public.
If I could just add one thing, I do believe that many of our students do start in what you might think is a relatively entry-level job. However, from our experience, we can say that within 1 year, if not less, they have often made a move. And financial services, and especially financial planning, is a little bit different than other fields such as accounting. So when I passed my accounting examinations, I automatically got promoted. I automatically got a big raise. Having said that, in financial planning, you still have to take some of the baby steps, and sometimes that means entry level. And I always tell students, be willing to take entry level, because all you need to do is get that bank on your resume, and every other bank all of a sudden wants you, and they'll want you for the next job up. So as much as many of our students will just take that first step to get in the door, I can pretty much ascertain that they do, and guarantee they don't stay there long.
And there's a question here of what advanced courses can go for after completing financial planning. So we put that slide up before, and I'll put it up again, just of some of the certifications. But I'm wondering if Carolyn or Tracy, you know of any other education that students can go on to from this program, or have gone on to from this program.
Sure, depending on what area the students are interested in pursuing. There's many CFP professionals that would go on to maybe do their chartered financial analyst designation because they want to couple the financial planning with the investment side. They might become a trust and estate practitioner because they want to specialize more in estate planning. There's other credentials around that are related to divorce or to seniors where they can start to specialize in those particular fields as well. So it's only the beginning, not the end of their path to education, and really it'll ultimately depend on what area of this field that they are passionate about and want to continue learning in.
One other program that's quite popular is that Dalhousie University offers advanced standing to any CFP professional in their MBA of financial services. So sometimes our graduates will go and get their CFP, and then beyond that, as they're continuing education, they will take the MBA of financial services. The options are endless.
Okay, so we have a number of questions coming in here. So first off, will I get some benefit of having experience of 2 years with an international bank? I'm assuming in this program, would that be a benefit of having that experience?
Depending on your role within the international bank, you will benefit for sure. You'll have an understanding of financial markets, and you'll have an understanding of, international banking. Having said that, many of our courses will focus on laws and that are Canadian specific. If you are referring to the experience of 2 years with the National Bank to move on with the credentialing bodies, the only credential there that requires work experience is the CFP, and it would be best for you to speak with FP Canada in that regard.
So we'll go on to another question here. Is the course of financial compliance preferable for studying after this program?
Well, it is certainly an area that is growing in terms of employment. So if you are like the area, like the field, but don't necessarily work directly with customers, maybe you want to deal more on the back office side of things, administrative, you like rules and helping people to follow those types of rules, then compliance could certainly be an area of study that you could continue after this program.
Okay, we're going to say that these are our last questions that we're going to go through. And of course, if you do want to ask any other questions, you're welcome to email Carolyn or Tracy with the questions that you have. And Josh was kind enough to put that in. But we do have a couple of really good questions here that we will get through. Does the program teach socially responsible investing as part of the curriculum?
So as a part of the Investments 1 and 2 course, we talk about the different constraints that exist when it comes to investing. So different objectives the clients have, different constraints that they might have around investing, and socially responsible investing would be one of those topics that would be discussed.
And the last question we're going to take is, if I migrate to another country, would this program help internationally?
Again, many of the courses are founded in Canadian tax law, family law, and retirement planning focuses on retirement savings plans in Canada. Having said that, the investments is surely international. If you were to pursue the CFP or QAFP credential, there is absolutely portability on an international level. Having said that, as I just mentioned, because our program and the CFP in Canada focuses on Canadian laws and tax rules, you would probably, upon landing in another country, if they should offer the CFP or a lesser credential, which would be aligned with the QAFP, you may have to write a partial examination or maybe just their final exam in order to demonstrate competency in that jurisdiction. And again, the best place to look is on the FP Canada website for that information. Having said that, just like the CFA, investments is fairly international. The knowledge that you gain in investments will serve you well internationally.
All right. Well, with that, I want to say thank you to everyone who's attended. I want to thank Carolyn and Tracy both for the presentation. The contact information is up there. Josh, thank you very much as well. And Josh has just posted under the business there is a link to a SurveyMonkey survey. If you could please take a quick moment to fill that out, you can click it right from here. It will help us make our presentations even that much better for you. So again, thank you. I hope everyone enjoyed, and we will we'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.